When Robert Lowy wrote about the Crow Indians in 1954 and he tried to explain the Tobacco Society, and he had no idea what the Tobacco Society was, and probably the biggest reason is because he didn't speak Crow. And so there was a language barrier there that was, I mean, among other things, one of the most significant things there. Um, and so just because of that thing in and of itself, that created a lot of misunderstanding. Um, and just, I think, the nature of their religion, the nature of their economy, the nature of their gender roles. So many of these things were misunderstood. A classic misunderstanding is that and the Indian women were subservient to Indian men, and that the white traders came in and they saw these women setting up these teepees. They set up the teepees. They took them down. They took care of all these teepees, and they said, wow, these women are kind of slaves to their men, and look at, they work all day, they scrape these hides, they do all these different things. And that was the kind of the notion. But they failed to mention that many of these societies are actually matrilineal. That part of the reason why the woman took care of that teepee is because it was hers. She owned it. And if she wanted to kick the man out, she just did it. And if a man came home and his stuff was outside that lodge, for the Crow tradition, that woman had asked for a divorce, basically. And if it was her lodge, then it was final. It was something that stood. And so I think sometimes there's gender roles. They're different, and maybe they're not always equal on every single thing, but they balance out in the end when you look at how the culture plays itself out. Something like a teasing clan. For the Crow people, that could be easily misunderstood by a trader who came in and would say, wow, what are these people teasing? Why are they, talking badly to this person? They may not understand that that's the tradition of the Crow principle of balance, that you need to have someone almost like the angel and the devil on each shoulder, to kind of keep you balanced. That's the teasing clan, and then your mother's clan who kind of, praises you and lifts you up. And so I think the oral tradition absolutely is something that is misunderstood on many different parts, and those misunderstandings persist into today. One thing that is interesting to me um, is the diversity of the tribes. And I think that just that small insight, you can unravel it and deconstruct so much of our understanding of Indian people and why we think of them as these tomahawk carrying people when actually they were family-oriented people who, you probably couldn't find another culture in the world who was more family-oriented, that actually lived by family values. I mean, to me, that is something that needs to be acknowledged and needs to be studied and held up by academics and scholars as something important, because that's what's going to take us into the next century. It's not going to be the corporations that find our way in this world. It's going to be the families